The NASCAR Xfinity Series race has officially concluded from Talladega Super Speedway, and we see a lot of crashes, a lot of wrecks, but a lot of great racing, and we see Austin Hill continue his domination in Super Speedways and pick up another Super Speedway victory. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching NASCAR Xfinity Series race in Talladega Super Speedway, the United Rentals 250. We had quite a bit to talk about from this race. Let's go talk about it. So, before the green flag drop in today's race, Blaine Perkins, Taylor Gray, and Mason Maggio would have to go to the rear for unapproved adjustments. At the start of the race, he had Jesse Love lead the field from the inside with William Swalch on the outside, and Jesse Love got a really good push and tried to clear Christian Eckes and William Swalch for the race lead. But then William Swalch got a great run on Jesse Love and was able to lead for a lap. But then eventually Jesse Love got a really good push and was able to clear for the race lead. And Jesse Love would dominate thoroughly while William Swalch would continue to battle side by side with Jesse for the race lead. And as the run continued on, Jesse Love continued having the race lead, but then Austin Hill was also coming up to the front. But the first caution of the race will come out lap number 15 of the event for the first big wreck of the day. Sheldon Creed would get turned after basically a bump coming down the tri, although it looked like Jed Burton got in the back of, I believe it was Sheldon Creed, and Brandon Jones then had nowhere to go. He got clobbered and collected, and a lot of guys got collected, including Carson Quaffle, Brendan Queen, Brandon Jones, Harrison Burton, Jeb Burton, Jordan Anderson, Ryan Sieg, Sam Mayer, Anthony Alfredo, Harrison Burton, Jeremy Cluns were all collected in the crashing incident, with Nick Sanchez being the leader at that point of the event. Jeb Burton being a little bit too aggressive at that point, pushing way too hard going through the tri-oval. We've talked about a lot where you cannot push throughout the tri-oval. Jeb Burton did that, got in the back, and caused a massive crashing incident. Because of that, they would actually have to red flag the race for about 20 minutes due to wall repair, and you start having conversations about potential sunset. With Talladega not having lights, sunset could have been a major factor. Luckily, we got the race back going after about 20 minutes. And then, on the next restart, Nick Sanchez lead the field from the inside with Austin Hill on the outside, and Austin Hill got a really good push on the outside and was able to clear Nick Sanchez for the race lead. And then Jesse Love got a really good push from Justin Allgaier to get up front, and they would battle side by side for the lead, that being Jesse Love and Austin Hill. But then on the white flag of the event, Connor Zilisch got a really good run under Jesse Love to get up to second position, but Austin Hill pulled out to a pretty big lead, and coming off the corner, Austin Hill wins stage number 1, followed by Justin Allgaier, Jesse Love, Connor Zilisch, and Eric Almirola. Then all lead lap cars, most lead lap cars, would come down pit road except Dean Thompson, Joey Gase, Ryan Ellis, Brennan Poole, Cesar Baccarel, and Garrett Smithley. And we had a couple guys get a penalty during the caution. And then on the restart, you had Dean Thompson lead the field from the outside with Kyle Sieg on the inside, and Dean Thompson got a really big push to clear for the lead, but going down the back straight on the first lap of the restart, Jesse Love got a really good run on Dean Thompson, and he was able to take the race lead. Then Connor Zilisch got a really big run on Jesse Love, and he was able to take the race lead for a lap, but then Jesse Love got by Connor Zilisch for the lead, and Jesse would start getting by, and Connor would start losing ground. Meanwhile, Nick Sanchez would make it 3 wide on the outside to get up to second position and would charge up there trying to get the race lead, with Jesse Love having the lead. And then Justin Allgaier, he got a great run a few laps later, and he was able to take the race lead. And we continue seeing a lot of back and forth up front between Allgaier, Hill, Love, Smith, all those guys up front. And then lap number 45, the next caution in the race to come out for another big crash. Leland Honeyman would get turned, I believe, by Connor Mosack going into turn number 1. This would cause a massive crash and incident that would unfortunately bring in William Swalch, Dean Thompson, Blaine Perkins, Leland Honeyman. Zilisch and Mosack were also collected in the crash as well. Unfortunately for all those cars involved, looked like just a bad push from Connor Mosack gone wrong in that situation, and hopefully everyone's okay. William Swalch was unfortunately transferred to the hospital with the crash. Hopefully William Swalch is okay, but a lot of cars were collected and were taken out of contention at that point. And once again, because of the big wreck, they would have to go ahead and red flag the event. And then on the restart, they had Justin Allgaier lead the field from the outside with Sammy Smith on the inside, and they both got really strong pushes, but Austin Hill got a really good push on Sammy Smith and got the run to take the race lead. On the last lap of stage number 2, Austin Hill would make the move to the outside of Justin Allgaier, turn number 1, would take the race lead. And coming off the corner, Austin Hill was able to win stage number 2, followed by Justin Allgaier, Carson Quaffle, Christian Eckes, and Nick Sanchez. And then all the lap cars would then come down pit road except Daniel Dye and Cesar Baccarel, but Cesar Baccarel will actually come back down pit road. And then on the restart, He had Daniel Dye lead the field from the inside, but Christian Eckes on the outside, and Daniel Dye got a really strong run and was able to clear for the lead. A couple laps later, though, Eric Almirola got a really big run on the outside, and he was able to take the race lead from Christian Eckes as they battled 3 wide. Eventually, a couple laps later, Austin Hill got a really big run on the inside of Eric Almirola, could not clear him, but eventually Austin Hill got by him and was able to take the race lead, and the outside basically becomes strung up with Austin Hill having the lead, followed by Justin Allgaier, Jesse Love, and Eric Almirola. With around 25 laps to go, unfortunately, Connor Zolch's chance to get a top 5 would be over, as he unfortunately had another flat tire, but getting the outside wall, luckily didn't get a massive amount of damage on the car, but his top 5 streak will come to an end today after 18 or 19 straight top 5s in a row. He would go multiple laps down and had to come back down pit road to serve a penalty as well. But then they would all try to, meanwhile this is going on, basically everyone's trying to form up on the inside as Austin Hill had the race lead, and they would battle side by side up front with Jesse Love getting by Almirola to move up to third. And then we basically saw the inside try to make moves like Sammy Smith, Christian Eckes, Nick Sanchez. They were trying to make stuff happen, but they could not make the move and continue being the single file up to that point. And then, with 3 laps to go, the chaos started happening. Jeb Burton got a really good push and tried to go up there to get the race lead, but they would all form up single file. And with 2 laps to go, Jesse Love had a really big run coming off of turn number 2 to try to get the race lead, and Sammy Smith tried to follow him, but he basically got trapped back a little bit, and then the last big crash of the day would end up happening when Sammy Smith got in the outside of Eric Almirola, spun him out, and Eric Almirola hit the outside wall really hard, and Jeb Burton, a couple other cars got collected, including Daniel Dye, who hit the inside wall really hard, and Nick Lights got caught up in the incident as well. To me, that's on Sammy Smith. Sammy Smith was a little bit too aggressive right there. I get it's the end of the race, but he's being a little too aggressive right there with 2 laps to go in the event. He caused that wreck and incident. Sammy Smith's trying to do what he can to try to defend his win from last year at this track, but a tough break nonetheless for him. A big tough break for Eric Almirola. Had a pretty good day going. His chance to win the race would be over. So after that big wreck took place, a lot of drivers would come down pit road to top off, including Carson Quaffle, Brennan Poole, Joey Gase, Park Clearman, Cesar Baccarel, Sammy Smith all came down pit road as they would all start running out of gas, and Justin Allgaier, Jesse Love came in. And on the final restart of the race, you had Austin Hill lead the field from the inside with Josh Williams on the outside, and Austin Hill got a fantastic restart, was able to clear for the lead as Josh Williams unfortunately started running out of gas. Meanwhile, you got a bunch of guys charging up there, including Christian Eckes, Carson Quaffle, Justin Allgaier, all those guys were coming to get a run. On the white flag of the event, Austin Hill would have the race lead, and Carson Quaffle got by Nick Sanchez and those guys, and Nick Sanchez actually got turned after contact from Christian Eckes really hard in the outside wall. Carson Quaffle moved up to second position. Justin Allgaier was charging his way up to the front, but he run out of time to get there at the end, and they all run out of time trying to make the move. It's coming out the final corner. Austin Hill holds off the hard-charging field and picks up his 10th career Super Speedway win, I believe his 4th win of the 2025 season, and his 14th career NASCAR Xfinity Series win. What a dominant day for Austin Hill. I believe he led around 50 or 51 or something like that of the 100 laps that happened in this race. Austin Hill, in my opinion, did have the fastest car. You can't deny it. I know a lot of people are probably upset about Austin Hill pick up the win, but you can't deny he's a great super speedway racer. I know there's some stuff he's got to work on when it comes to some of his driving etiquette, but today he was the most and smartest guy out there on the track when it came to the moves. He wasn't making over-aggressive moves. He made the right moves throughout the day, and that's why Austin Hill is so good at these races and gets it done. We talked about the strength and some of the struggles at Daytona for the RCR cars. There wasn't that this time around. And if you let the RCR cars get out front, they're likely to go out there and pick up the win. So nonetheless, congratulations, Austin Hill, picking up the win in victory. A well-earned and well-deserved win. It's good to see him. I mean, you could say it's good to see him to get it done. Congrats to him on picking up the win. No one tried to make a move at the end, but good for Austin Hill, pick up the win and earn the win here at Talladega. So now we're going ahead and take a look at the race results and get my score thoughts on today's race, and then we'll take a look at the playoff standings as well. So Austin Hill picks up the win. Carson Quaffle finishes second. So close to picking up that first career Xfinity win and locking his way to the championship 4. But what a great day for Carson Quaffle. He ran top 5 and top 10 a lot of this race. Showed some really good speed. Looked like a natural out there. Has had speed and pace this year at points. Shame he won't be full-time next year. But still a really good day for Carson Quaffle. He finished second. Justin Allgaier finished third. He had one of the strongest cars in the field. Was a top 5 car majority of this race. Led some laps in the event. Got a ton of stage points. He also is, as of now, pending post-race inspection, he is locked into the championship 4 with a great run today with being enough points up. Great run for Justin Allgaier. He finished third. Christian Eckes finished 4th. He was pretty fast all day. One of the few guys on the bottom at the end that was actually trying to make moves on the inside lane. Ran out of time to get up there, but he charged his way up inside the top 5. Showed some pretty good speed throughout the day. Good run for Christian. He finished 4th. Cesar Baccarella finished 5th. How about that for Cesar Baccarella? I'm not entirely sure. You can correct me in the comments. This might be only the first or second time a Cesar's ever scored a top 5 finish. A great day for Cesar. Came in on pit road to top off and comes home with a strong top 5 finish. A great run for Cesar. He's been decent in super speedways in the past, so a really solid run for him. He finishes 5th. Blaine Perkins finished 6th. That's his 5th top 20 finish in the last 14 races. One of the first top 10 finish. I think it's only 2nd or 3rd top 10 finish of the year, too. He's been better this year with the Jordan Anderson racing team. So solid day for Blaine. He finished 6th. Parker Reslap finished 7th. How about that for Parker scoring a top 10 finish? Ran mid to back of the pack most of the day, but came up front at the end after taking some fuel at the end. He finishes 7th. Leland Honeyman finished 8th. He was in the top 10 near the end of this race. Showed some good speed throughout the day. Was up inside the top 10 quite a bit at points. Good run for him. He finished 8th. Sammy Smith finished 9th. Sammy Smith shows some really strong pace. Also caused that last big wreck, unfortunately. But he does get a top 10. Made up a ton of ground on the cutoff line today. Decent run for him. And Jesse Love finished 10th. I think there was a lot of times where that 2 car was the fastest car. I picked him coming into the weekend or to pick up the victories. How good he's been in super speedways. He was in a good position to get it done, but lost a lot of track position at the end and faded back. But he did have a great day. Scored a ton of points as well. And is in a really good shape going into the final race at Martinsville. He finished 10th. Nick Weiss finished 11th. Not a bad day for him. Garrett Smithley finished 12th. Harrison Burn, who did cause a second big crash, he does get a top 15 and 13th. That where Haley Deegan actually scored around a top 10 finish last year in the spring race, but he does get a top 15, so not a bad run for him. Josh Williams, who unfortunately was running out of gas on the white flag of the event, he finished 14th. Tough break there at the end, but good to see him get a top 15 finish. Kyle Seek finished 15th. Joey Gates gets the top 20 and 16th. Jeff Burton, who caused 1 or 2 incidents in today's event, he finished 17th. Had damage at the end, was pretty fast, but faded after the damage. David Starr finished 18th. Brendan Poole finished 19th. Nick Sanchez, after his crash, finished 20th. Carson Ware finished 21st. Mason Maggio finished 22nd. Connor Zilish finished 23rd. Unfortunately, his top 5 streak has come to an end after I think like 18 or 19 consecutive races finishing inside the top 5. Not entirely surprising with Talladega, but Connor Zilish, with how good he was this year, he is locked into the Championship 4 pending post-race inspection. Connor deserves to be in the Championship 4. Well-earned, doesn't have to worry about the chaos of Martinsville. He can now just focus on trying to go out there, pick up the win, and survive all the cars like we had in the spring. Connor did have speed today, just got caught up in a couple of incidents. Nothing you can do about the damage. He does finish 23rd. Eric Almirola finished 24th. Eric had a really fast car, but that massive crash happened. It seemed like Eric got out of the car okay, and hopefully he is okay after the big wreck. Daniel Dye finished 25th. Massive hit to the inside. Good to see him climb out of the car because that was a scary and really bad wreck. Brandon Jones, after crashing, finished 26th and getting damaged. He'll be going into a must-win situation at Martinsville. Ryan Ellis finished 27th. Connor Mosak finished 28th. Dean Thompson finished 29th. William Swalsh finished 30th. Like I said, thinking about William at the moment right now. Like I mentioned, he's unfortunately been transferred to the hospital after a crash. He finished 30th. Taylor Gray finished 31st. Jordan Anderson finished 32nd. Anthony Alfredo finished 33rd. Charlotte Creed finished 34th. Going into Martinsville, pretty much being in a must-win situation with a really bad run today. Ryan Seek finished 35th. Brendan Queen, who of course announced this week he'll be going to the Ram College program with this team next year. His day ended early. Jeremy Clements finished 37th, and Sam Mayer finished last in 30th. I believe Sam Mayer is now going in a must-win situation at Martinsville. He's not in a terrible position, but he's not in the best position either. Basically, he will be going in pretty much in a must-win situation. So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the playoff standings after the second race of the round of 8. So at the time of recording this, we're still waiting for the playoff standings to be revealed. Obviously, we know that Connor Zilish and Justin Allgaier are locked in. I think that's Jesse Love's up by like 40 or something points like that, I'm pretty sure. I believe Carson Quaffle is in by like 10 or something points. The rest of the drivers, of course, are pretty much going in a must-win situation when we get to Martinsville next week. So now let's talk about the overall race as a whole and give my scoring thoughts on today's race. Honestly, when they weren't crashing today and weren't wrecking, I think the racing today was actually pretty fun. Sure, near the end, it got strung out quite a bit when everyone's running the top lane, but honestly, I don't blame them, especially after all the wrecks happened early. I wish they would have made moves a little bit earlier. You can't wait till 3 laps to go to make the move, or even 2 laps to go for that matter. They waited way too long to make the moves, and that's why that last wreck ended up happening. They kind of just handed Austin Hill the victory. But I think the racing, when they actually were racing today, was really good. It wasn't the best Xfinity Super Speedway race I've ever seen, but I think it was still a pretty solid event. We'll probably see better racing. We probably saw better racing today than we're probably going to see tomorrow in the Cup event. My score today's NASCAR Xfinity race, I'm going to give this race about an 8 to 8.5. It wasn't perfect, but it's still pretty good, pretty entertaining at points. My score is going to be 8.5 out of 10 from Talladega. So that is going to be it for the NASCAR Xfinity race review from Talladega. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Notifications on to notify when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's go below that and comment your thoughts below on today's race. Your thoughts on today's race, let me know below. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And congratulate Austin Hill on picking up the win. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow morning on the channel, we're going to have the starting lineup video for the NASCAR Cup race at Talladega. Then we'll have the race review tomorrow night as well. Then we might be doing a Shane Van Gisbergen video. Then Monday, we should have a NASCAR news video dropping on the channel. Talk about Kyle Busch's reaction to the crew chief news. Some silly season news around Jesse Love and Justin Allgaier returning their respective rides next year. And some other stuff around Joey Logano's comments and Brad Keselowski's comments, among other things. Along with potentially Tuesday doing a video talking about the top 10 free agents as well that remain on the market. We got content coming on people like Haley Deegan, Shane Van Gisbergen, Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain, Sheldon Creed, Sam Aaron, Frankie Muniz, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Ryan Preece, Brad Keselowski, Cletus Avon, Dodge Ram, other people like Tony Breidinger and Connor Zilish too, and Junior Motorsports. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, buddy.